Wrestling fans, guys, let me make this perfectly clear before we even get started, get involved, get invested into this Monday Night Raw review. Get into this Raw review. Let me make this perfectly clear. On our way to TLC, WWE has pretty much told us that if you are not a authority figure, then you don't matter in the WWE on Monday Night Raw. Let's just get that out of the way right now. If you are not an authority figure and you are not somebody who is backing them, you do not matter. That's it. I mean, you look at what this show was based around tonight. Baron Corbin and Alexa Bliss. Those were the two people that this was based around. Yeah, you could throw in Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, but those were minor on tonight's show. This was all about building the show around the authority figures and building them up to be unstoppable tonight. Absolutely. And in a few different ways. And we're going to dive into that right here today on the podcast. Not only that, but we're going to cover the rest of the show as well. But before we do that, don't forget to become a subscriber if you're not. It is much appreciated if you do. Go down and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. Go over to Facebook and Twitter as well and follow me on those two social media websites at 2007 Webby. Much appreciated. A lot of hard work and fun also goes into these three websites for you fans out there. Now, Monday Night Raw review. On our way to TLC, Survivor Series is come and gone. The fallout's come and gone. And we are in full force of TLC's build. And I am sure that a lot of podcasters out there are going to absolutely rip this show to shreds tonight. Quite frankly, that is what I want to do that's inside of me. That is what inside of me is telling me to do. Instead, I'm trying to sit here and make sense out of this entire show. I really am. I really am trying to make sense out of Monday Night Raw tonight. And really, to make sense out of it, you have Braun Strowman. Okay, wrestling fans, you have Braun Strowman who is injured. He's out. He's gone. He's having surgery. Okay, WWE can play in the wings and try to make it look like, yeah, he might show up. Okay, he might show up at TLC, but let's be honest here. Even though they still have him booked on the show, which you can see on WWE.com, he's not going to show up. We all know that. Therefore, what is WWE going to do? What do they have to do? Build Baron Corbin up to be this unstoppable, absolutely barbaric, huge, awesome, destructive force on Monday Night Raw. It's 101 wrestling psychology, something we've seen since they've started having general managers on Monday Night Raw. They're doing it again. Well, this time we have Bobby Lashley sucks on one side, and we have Drew McIntyre on the other side of his corner. And Baron Corbin is more than likely going to face Bray Wyatt. Now, that's rumored And I think WWE practically gave it away tonight, quite frankly. Now, they teased us with Elias coming out there, okay? But they kept the lights off so much. And with the Fireflies in the arena, okay, from the crowd, I think it's pretty much telling us that Bray Wyatt's going to be the opponent for Baron Corbin. Now, when is Bray Wyatt going to show up? That's a good question. A few different ways that we could see Bray Wyatt show up. Elias comes out tonight, gets beat up, okay? Then Finn Balor gets beat up. They have to make Baron Corbin look destructive at least 1 week, maybe 2 weeks tops, okay, before Bray Wyatt, poof, comes in for the save. Now, they could go that route and then have a little bitty short build of Bray Wyatt taking the place of Braun Strowman, because there's ties there of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Now, either that, or they could go down the route of Starrcade. And we didn't get to see this on the hour special, but I saw a report saying that Baron Corbin lost to Bray Wyatt, and it was an open challenge. What if Baron Corbin does that at TLC? Bray Wyatt is the one that answers the call. Because how is WWE going to book Bray Wyatt as a babyface by himself? Even if he is woken Bray Wyatt, it is hard to book him as a babyface, that type of character by himself. Good question. And it's hard for WWE to do something that good in this day and age. So how are they going to do that? Easy way route? Bray Wyatt, open challenge coming in to answer it by Baron Corbin, because Braun Strowman just does not show up at TLC. Now, with that being said, here's Alexa Bliss in the wing. She is already taking advantage of what Baron Corbin has to offer her. Baron Corbin said, here's the women's division. Run with it. Take it over. I'm busy with Braun Strowman and taking apart everybody who's not in joining me. She is going to take advantage of all that power, and then she's going to overthrow Baron Corbin when he loses at TLC. We're going to have TLC. We're going to have, after TLC, Alexa Bliss, the new GM of Monday Night Raw. Whoa! Some of you are cringing right now. I know, out of everything I just said. Outside of being able to see Bray Wyatt some, because we haven't seen him in the last couple months. Look, one thing, Alexa Bliss, I hope she gets healed up and better, be able to compete on Raw, but at least she'll be used for something that's important outside of this rinky-dink garbage that she's been used on. So I'm fine with that. Plus, how she builds up rivalries is mostly through talking and not through matches anyway. So might as well put her in a female suit and let her be a general manager. put Baron Corbin in what he does best, and that is wrestling. That is not general manager. With that being said, I wish they would use Becky Lynch more on SmackDown with her being out from her concussion and all this stuff. Yes, she's coming back this tomorrow night on SmackDown, but that's just 1 week. Alexa Bliss has been out for a number of weeks. She's been on Raw every single week. So, weigh how fair that is. Not too much. I have to wait and see what happens. But that's kind of how I'm seeing how that goes. And honestly, I'm not going to cringe so much at what they did tonight with Lashley Sucks, which honestly was downright hilarious. And I give Elias a 100% A+, and the crowd for feeding right into it as well. Because it was actually made me laugh tonight. And the whole Baron Corbin thing, because WWE had to do something, and you don't always want to jump right in to announcing who's going to replace Braun Strowman. And they're still trying to use Braun Strowman probably to sell tickets to that event as well. And that's why they're not taking him off the card just yet. I don't see him making it. I just don't. Now, with the rest of Monday Night Raw, speaking of the Alexa Bliss segment, let's just get this out of the way. Alexa Bliss, said she was going to have Bayley and Sasha Banks come out there, and she was going to have them talk to the WWE Universe. And the WWE Universe was going to be able to ask questions to the fan. To Bayley and Sasha Banks. This was one of the most cringeworthy segments of the year, by far. Now, at first, I really did not think this. I really did not think that they were going to go down this route. I thought it was going to be better than this, because the fan that said what the question that was asked was, if there was anything that you could change about the women's division, what would it be? And if there's one thing that a lot of fans in the WWE think the women's division needs, it's change, because it's the same old, not the women that we want to see pushed, really are not getting the spots that they deserve right now. I mean, they're just not. Ember Moon deserves a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley and Sasha Banks do. They're not getting it. They're just in a tag team, waiting for the tag team championships for the women to be announced amongst the other women in the women's division. They're not getting what they deserve. We're just getting a meaningless rivalry between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey, which I'll get to in a minute. But with this question being asked, I thought, okay, it might go somewhere. That was until I heard Bayley's response. And Bayley's response made me want to take this remote and turn it on mute so I didn't hear anything else throughout that entire segment. Because she said, oh, well, I wouldn't change anything about Monday Night Raw. I just I just hope that the women keep on getting the opportunities they deserve and blah, 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 blah. When I see the women getting the opportunities they deserve, when they start getting that, when I talk about the women's segments on my reviews, they might sound a little bit more positive. And I'm sure a lot of the podcasters out there will sound the same. This is not an opportunity, Bailey. This is WWE burying the women's division. And everybody in attendance who was chanting, "This sucks, this sucks, this is boring," or the people that were putting earplugs in their ears at home because they didn't want to hear it, or turning it on mute, or changing the channel, or doing whatever, because the segment sucks so bad, and because Vince McMahon probably told them to cut the segment because the fans started started cringing on it in the attendance. Let's be honest. You're not getting an opportunity by the WWE by having this kind of stuff. You're just not. Trust me. Same goes for Sasha Banks. When you make jokes like, "Oh, if I could change anything, I'd send Alexa Bliss back to SmackDown Live." Seriously? Give me a break. Now, thank you, WWE, for cutting that short and having Mickie James and some other heels come beat up on them shortly after that. That's all I can say about it. Moving on to the other women's segment of the night that has some importance to it. Well, actually, when you think about it, all the women's segments tonight, all the women's segments have tonight, has some importance to it, because I feel sorry for Ember Moon. She went from having Braun Strowman as a partner on the Mixed Match Challenge to having Kurt Hawkins on the Mixed Match Challenge. Kurt Hawkins, are you kidding me? Ember Moon needs to go to Jinder Mahal and have a session of Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Because she went from having one of the best teams on the Mixed Match Challenge to having one of the worst teams on the Mixed Match Challenge. WWE, what a joke. That's all I can say. And she looked absolutely freaked out when she got that win, and Kurt Hawkins went and hugged her and went absolutely ballistic over the win and was acting like he got the win. If they get a win on the Mixed Match Challenge, how ridiculous. Matter of fact, if they get the number 30 spot and they win the whole thing, how ridiculous. That's all I can say about that. I'm sorry, Ember Moon. I hope you get a Raw Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey after TLC, because you deserve it. You deserve that Royal Rumble spot, or a spot at Ronda Rousey at Elimination Chamber sometime against Ronda Rousey. You deserve it. That's all I'm going to say. Now, let's talk about Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax, the face breaker. shall we? Cringeness fills the air. That's all I can say. Cringeness fills the air. Because, I don't understand. I don't understand WWE's concept here. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't get it. They have something that's so hot in Becky Lynch and how on fire that she is, and they continue to take jabs. Not only do they continue to take jabs at her, but they took jabs at Drake Maverick tonight as well. As far as a general manager, they took jabs at him too. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is horrible. Nia Jax taking jabs at Becky Lynch about the whole face breaking, about what type of champion she is, and then Ronda Rousey taking jabs at her because of all the stuff that she said she was about the type of champion she was. Which, honestly, Ronda Rousey's promo skills have gotten a lot better ever since Paul Heyman has started helping her with her promos. They've gotten a lot better. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But tonight's segment between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey really reminded me why Nia Jax is getting this spot at TLC and not a major event spot. I mean, seriously. Do we really want Nia Jax to get her big title matchup at a Royal Rumble, at a WrestleMania, somewhere like that? Absolutely not. Nia Jax was cringeworthy tonight. She was downright cringe. So what do? You waste her title defense, or you waste her title matchup at a rinky-dink pay-per-view like TLC. That's it. After that, done, over with, comprende, and then get over with this face breaker crap. Period. Go Ronda Rousey, come TLC. I don't want to hear any more about Nia Jax being in the main event after TLC. 2019 Women's Division is getting tag team championships. All you have to do is team up Tamina and Nia Jax, and there you go. You have a tag team for it. Have Ember Moon, as I stated before, be a good challenger for Ronda Rousey. What else happened on this show that's worth talking about? Oh, AOP versus Glorious. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Well, let's see. The biggest thing that came out of this is that Drake Maverick went from whizzing all over himself to whizzing on Bobby Roode's glorious jacket, glorious robe. That's about the biggest thing that came out of this. Okay, whatever. Lucha Party, or whatever you want to call Kalisto and his tag team partners, versus the Revival. Ain't talking about it. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins put on an instant classic once again with Dolph Ziggler. It's nothing we haven't seen before. Standard matchup. The only thing that we saw tonight that we didn't see in previous matches is Seth Rollins winning with a Falcon Arrow. That's it. Why he won with that makes absolutely zero sense to me, but at least we didn't see false finish after 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 false finish tonight. And honestly, the one thing, in my estimation, that would have made that matchup better is if during the open challenge we would have seen Dean Ambrose interfere and once again hit a dirty deeds on Seth Rollins and make it look like the promo he cut at the doctor's office, make it look like that was earlier in the day and he was actually in the arena. So that would have been cool to see, but Dean Ambrose was not there in the arena. Other than that, the Lars Sullivan clips that they keep on showing, just a little side note here. I like what they're doing. I really do. They didn't just automatically bring him up without any build, without any clip showing the destructive force that he can bring to Monday Night Raw. That is a very good thing because, honestly, when you just bring somebody up from NXT and nobody has ever seen them before, it can be like, who in the world is this? So I like that they are showing all these clips of Lars Sullivan like he's going to be a big deal. Now, don't wait too long, WWE, where it gets tiresome and then nobody cares. But Lars Sullivan looks like he's going to be a destructive force and have a massive push once he comes on Monday Night Raw. Because you know how Vince McMahon likes big, massive, bald men on the roster. And honestly, the few matches that I did have seen of Lars Sullivan on NXT, he does look pretty impressive. So once he comes to the main roster, should be excellent for that show. This is Monday Night Raw review. See you tomorrow for SmackDown Live, which hopefully AJ Styles has a pretty impressive response for Daniel Bryan. And maybe Daniel Bryan will interfere with that response, and we won't just get AJ Styles cutting a usual promo that he does on his opponents. And speaking of that, I've watched an hour special of the whole AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Starrcade event. And Samoa Joe got buried again, and that was cringeworthy. I'm just going to say that because Samoa Joe lost and was tapping out once again, and now we probably won't see Samoa Joe at all. So that's cringe. Samoa Joe tapping. I'm just saying that. But that's all I'm going to say about Starrcade, and hopefully we see a good SmackDown tomorrow because Monday Night Raw was useless unless you were an authority figure. And until I see you tomorrow for SmackDown, catch you on the other side.